All more my people, you don't read to as they talk to you. They say the kind thing where they go on inside these three nations when their military don't take over. Say no be small development. Now they happen for there. These countries in the Sahel, what do they call Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger Republic, the kind of unity when these people carry they go. Now Tinubu be one go put hand. Sorry you. By now, everybody for just leave you. May you fight the war alone. You for don't come press your neck inside that sorok. That invasion where you want go invade the Niger Republic that time. I just they look on and they laugh. Then dare you say if they burn your papa where may you carry army enter inside Niger Republic. Say they go turn desert. On I on a run till now they wait for you. Promise what you promise us. You know if you invade ordinary Niger when they here. We take home work with your Ecowas soldiers. You know fit. Toy. That'll be failure or be that one. They said the military regime in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger plan to proceed with the establishment of a confederation, the Malian Foreign Ministry said on Thursday. The three countries recently announced that they would withdraw from the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas. They have now moved to deepen ties with an alliance that threatens regional integration, Reuters report. The neighbors in the impoverished Sahel region announced in January that they would quit the West African bloc, a decision the bloc has urged them to rethink, warning of the additional hardships this withdrawal would bring. At a meeting in the Burkina capital Ouagadougou, their three ministers confirmed a joint commitment to withdraw from ECOWAS without delay and continue cooperation under a pact known as Alliance of Sahel State, AES. It don't read to another people don't come out to Alliance for Sahel State or the Egu. They reaffirmed their commitment to advancing resolutely in the process of implementing the AES and creating the three-state confederation, the Malian Foreign Ministry said in an online post. The group has not shared details on how the proposed confederation would work or on how closely they plan to align political, economic, and security interests as they struggle to contain a decade-old battle with Islamist insurgents that has destabilized the sub-region. Last November, their finance minister said they would weigh the option of setting up a monetary union, and top officials from all three countries have to varying degrees voice support for abandoning West Africa's CFA franc common currency. Now they want to change their currency, join. They want to start using a local currency. That is a good idea. The same way we are supposed to also abandon dollar, because Nigeria self no be naira we they use, now dollar we they use there. The juntas have all severed long-standing military ties with former colonial ruler, which is France, dealing a blow to France's influence in the Sahel and complicating international effort to fight the militant linked to Al-Qaeda and the Islamic State. Now the latest information where we they see be that to the latest update now be that one while Tinubu is there sleeping, you they find way we want to go invade them. Make una hear them full story in details. May not be like saying I'm out, I just take the talk. I'm yeah.
Ibrahim Traore, Assimi Goita, and Abdurrahmane Chiani of Niger are three prominent figures within the Pan-Africanist movement who have emerged as inheritors of the ideology in contemporary Africa. Their ideologies have been influenced by the works of some of the greatest African thinkers, including Kwame Nkrumah and many others. These leaders are deeply committed to the idea that African nations must prioritize the establishment of African sovereignty if they are to achieve prosperity and success. They believe that the African people must unite and work together to reclaim their rights, identities, and dignity, which have been systematically oppressed and undermined by colonialism and neo-colonialism. Their vision of Africa's destiny is centered on the restoration of dignity, self-determination, and unity, as they seek to build a brighter and more prosperous future for all Africans. The creation of the Alliance of Sahel States on September 16, 2023, marks a significant turning point in African geopolitics. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have taken a bold step towards rebuilding the interaction in West Africa, based on revolutionary and internal political processes within their countries. The legitimacy of the three leaders is not derived from external sources, but is the outcome of an endogenous movement of their people. The people of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger have fought relentlessly against corrupt regimes, neo-colonialism, and terrorism. This resistance process of the West African people has permeated the armies, and patriotic, revolutionary, and Pan-Africanist forces have emerged simultaneously across all segments of these African societies. The emergence of this alliance is the result of a powerful and assertive move towards a brighter future for West Africa. The alliance is resolutely committed to establishing a new geopolitical structure in West Africa that is based on three inviolable principles. First and foremost, it firmly believes in sovereignty, which is the cornerstone of any nation's right to self-governance. To achieve this, it is imperative that the decision-makers of each country are adequately protected in their positions. This will enable them to make decisions that are in the best interest of their people without any external interference. The second principle is the freedom of choice of strategic partners among the world's powers. It is an unassailable right of every country to choose their strategic partners based on their national interests. No external influence should be allowed to interfere with this fundamental right. The third principle is the defense of African people's vital interests. The alliance is unequivocally committed to protecting the interests of African people and ensuring that their basic needs and rights are always met. It is imperative to note that sovereignty is impossible without accountability. Therefore, the leaders of each country must be answerable to their people, who are the only sovereign. They must be held accountable for their actions and decisions and work tirelessly towards fulfilling the needs and aspirations of their people. The diversification of partnership is crucial to ensure that countries don't just fight against terrorism in Africa, but also cooperate with Western powers in the field of war. The alliance is therefore deeply committed to military, diplomatic, and economic cooperation with the most extraordinary powers of the Global South, or the multipolar world. It is clear that the destiny of the alliance lies in actively participating in the dynamic construction of the BRICS, while simultaneously avoiding the supremacy of the dollar and the euro. The alliance has taken full charge of the internal dialogues taking place between the leaders and people of Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger. This is why the alliance is capable of self-financing and is dedicated to ensuring economic and cultural cooperation, as well as political integration as a confederation of states. I remember when the Economic Community of West African States, Ecowas, had threatened to attack Niger due to illegitimate French control over the country's strategic uranium resources. However, Mali and Burkina Faso rose to the occasion and stood up in unison to defend their Nigerian neighbor. They clearly understood that the threats facing Niger were deeply rooted in the slave trade and colonial aggression that had plagued African nations for centuries. The Western neo-colonial occupation only added to the problem. This shared history of tragedy and oppression is what binds African nations together. It is this deep memory that constitutes the cement of the new African sunrise of conscientiousness and justice, paving the way for a brighter future for the continent. It is abundantly clear that there exists a notable distinction between Ecowas and the Alliance of the Sahel States. While the former has repeatedly demonstrated its reliance on Western interests and powers, the latter is unapologetically striving for a self-sufficient and influential Africa, one that is free in its thoughts, actions, and capable of molding a brighter future for all African nations. However, we must not forget to introspect and reflect on ourselves. The biggest hurdle in Africa's struggle in the 21st century is to reclaim our inherent ingenuity by critically examining our past and present, and to keep a vigilant eye on the reality of the global power dynamics. It is imperative to note that the three brothers in question are not to be underestimated. Every action they take is deliberate and holds significance. Why am I saying this? Please let me explain. Welcome to Teens Republic English. Our channel is committed to promoting the growth and development of Africa. Before we proceed, we kindly request that you consider subscribing to support our work. Your subscription will enable us to continue producing high-quality content that advances our mission. For many centuries, Africa has been a theater for atrocious operations, mainly devised and implemented by the Western powers. These terror operations always have the same specific goal: looting African human, natural, and cultural resources for the economic, cultural, and political hegemony of the West. If you remember, a few weeks ago, I posted a video where Niger increased the price of uranium from 0.80 euros to 200 euros per kilogram. Just imagine French companies were selling uranium at 200 euros, but giving only 11 euros to Niger. So, that kind of made sense to me. But 200 euros versus 0.80 euros? I wasn't prepared for that. Let me surprise you that following an increase in the price of uranium by Niger, the country is projected to exhibit the most rapid economic growth in Africa. It's important to understand what the Nigerian junta has done is the same thing Gaddafi did in Libya. After WW2, Libya was ceded to France and the UK. The UK favored the emergence of a monarchy, the Senussi dynasty, endorsed by the UN, since its so-called independence in 1951. This dynasty ruled the country under the monarchy of King Idris, on behalf of the British, of course. The British were milking the country dry. Every serious decision in government was approved by the monarchy before it was allowed. And because the Libyan monarchy was a criminal extension of the British monarchy and had been insanely corrupted, nothing was approved unless the British monarchy, which sits atop the Commonwealth of Nations, had given the green light for its approval. As you can imagine, nothing was there for the people of Libya. Nearly everything went to the colonials. Life expectancy dropped to the barest minimum. According to Mason, only 250,000 Libyans out of 4 million could read and write at the time. That's how abysmal the literacy rate was. Poverty index ratings placed Libya at the bottom, and life was a living hell for them. When Gaddafi took over and toppled the Sensi dynasty in 1969, foreign forces that were exploiting the Libyan people for their own gain were shown the door. Gaddafi rightfully abolished the slavery monarchy and nationalized Western oil companies such as British Petroleum to create the National Oil Corporation, NOC, ensuring that the oil wealth of Libyans remained in the hands of Libyans. Nationalizing was the only way to stop colonial Europe from stealing and misusing the resources that rightfully belonged to the African people, and instead use them to improve the lives of our countrymen and women. It's time for African nations to demand what they are due, and not simply settle for what greedy, parasitic colonial corporations have allotted them. Take Libya, for example. Under Gaddafi's leadership, the country transformed from being one of the poorest nations in the world to a regional economic powerhouse by 2011. The UNDP even recognized Libya as a high development country in the Middle East and North Africa. With a skyrocketing literacy rate of 88.4% and an impressive life expectancy of 74.5 years, it's clear that any African nation can achieve success if they grow enough courage to demand their rightful share. It is imperative that Niger receives encouragement and support, regardless of the cost. Through this price adjustment, Niger will be able to sell their uranium without relying on European or Western buyers, and thus become another modern Libya in the Sahel. Moving on, I would appreciate your feedback on today's video. Please be sure to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments section below. Your input is highly appreciated.
Aha, my people, now don't use una ears, take hear how the matter take go. They say no be small thing, no say we go they sleep on top bicycle. These people go waka leave us, so say nothing go remain again with the way things are going inside Nigeria now. Now they see our own president for there. He did there, they sleep on top bicycle. Now Tinubu be this one, see what your mate they do. And then the military Wednesday day Nigeria too, those ones too. Now they see waiting be reform. Even though they say na military junta, military dinta, see waiting they do, it cannot be compared with what we have in Nigeria. Just take a look how the government is doing better than the so-called democracy they have in Africa today. Democracy, we don't sour, we no care about the citizens. But before our own eyes, we don't see and say military movement don't better pass that of the so-called democracy in Africa, where they say na be the okucho when we get inside Africa now. Make una they see people where we think say, oh, military rule. No only for Nigeria, they think the worst. When Abacha then came, now so they do things where we don't understand, but see what be military rule inside other countries. So at least we are wishing them the best. Say make it better for them, because they wish them all the best. Easy. So Nigerian army, when I don't see on a mate, this one when I go come out for social media, they complain how they know the fee pay on her. See waiting on a mate they do to those criminals where they their country. Pursue them, come off office, take over, and they are doing the needful now for the citizens. But on our own for Nigeria, on go to complain how did they pay on a 50,000? No money enough. So now so it be. I go see you for the next one. I bet Mona touch the share button, made the video they go viral very very quickly. Thank you.